Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And this evening, I am having a conversation with Laurie Cleverly from Phoenix, Arizona. Good evening, good afternoon. Is it afternoon with you?
Yep, just a little bit. It is afternoon. So yeah,
Time
wonderful to
zones are
be here.
mad, aren't they? Really
Well,
mad.
Arizona does not do daylight savings,
No, I know.
and I
One of
love
the
it.
very few states that don't, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Sensible. That's what I call it. Sensible.
yeah, well, it's hot enough here that you just don't need any more. You don't need another reason to have it be hotter than it already is. So I was
No,
like, hey,
I,
I support that.
I quite agree. Not that I don't live there, so, I'm sort of neutral. But yes, there we go. So, my question to yourself, as is the same to everybody else that pops along to my little chit chat, is what do you enjoy doing when you're not working?
Um, I love cheering on my kids, honestly. Um, I grew up doing sports, and so one of my favorite things I would love for my kids to be all in sports. That was always what I did. My
Hmm.
husband, unfortunately, is the unathletic introvert. He is the complete nerd. He would rather stay at home, play video games, all of that stuff. And I was like, no, there's a ball outside. Let's go. Growing up, like I was always in sports. So, I having three boys, they are all on the spectrum. And so my oldest gets is when he was old enough to do Special Olympics, he gets put in every Special Olympics event that his school does. And if there's another event that I'm like, hey, the city is putting it on, and so I have found other resources for him. And so watching like this week where we have our track meet. And so I'm excited to cheer him on and sit and roast in the sun. I have all the, sit in the bleachers for hours on end, but I also love cheering him on and watching him do the best that he can. And, he likes to watch the videos of him, hey, mom, this is what I did. And,
Oh,
um, my other kids, it's a program called Miracle League, and it's
hmm.
all abilities baseball. And so it's the rubberized turf playground material
Hmm.
that so people with wheelchairs, people that struggle walking, and so essentially we play the glorified T-ball version where you hit the ball off the tee and you run the bases, and then when you're out in the field, they don't care what you do as long as you don't get hit with the ball. you know, so that you can try and field it. We just play the recreation where it's everybody gets to hit the ball, everybody gets to have fun, everybody gets to enjoy their time. And, we do that. And so I love cheering on my kids in whatever activity they're doing, whether it's a sport or, they love to ride scooters or things like that. But I just love supporting my kids.
Well, absolutely, is what I say. Yes, you can't get better than that, can you?
No.
Really. And do they have a favorite sport that they enjoy?
Probably because the only thing they've really done the most and they've had the most exposure to is probably baseball.
Mhm.
But they do like basketball a little bit as well. Haven't really gotten into soccer or football, as you call it.
Yeah.
But I think it just kind of comes with each season. But baseball is really big here. They have spring training, so a lot of the baseball teams half the teams come to Arizona and half the teams go to Florida. And so we have like you can almost because of our weather, you can play baseball year round.
Well,
So
yes, I guess with the temperatures that you have,
yeah.
it lends itself to it, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about snow and covering
No.
a field or, all of that stuff. So honestly, from once it hit July is really the peak, when it actually turns summer, it really is probably the hottest. And so, but I mean, until it's still pretty hot, but for the most part, you can still, if you're able to bear it, you
Just
can still
go.
play baseball year
Yeah.
round every day of the year.
And are there particular teams that so they play, but are there particular teams that they follow?
Not really. I mean, obviously
Ah,
the Diamondbacks are the local team, and I yeah, grew up watching them too. And so and they're involved obviously in the communities and things like that because they have their community outreach with things. And so
mhm.
they're like the Diamondbacks, but honestly, they we don't watch a lot of baseball because if I'm not at the stadium watching, it's not as much fun watching on TV. And my kids usually control the TV. So um we don't watch necessarily a lot. I like to follow the scores and things like that. On my phone, I'll have them, the scores will pop up. So I know at least what's going on. Oh, hey, they won. Good job. Or their Phoenix teams or Arizona teams are always the letdown teams. They look so promising and they always let you down in the end.
Oh
So
no. Oh, that's not good.
yep.
dear.
Yep. They let us down in American football. You know,
No.
lost the Super Bowl. Basketball, they haven't won a championship.
Oh
Hockey's
dear.
not even here anymore. So,
Need to sack
we
the
just
manager.
so I guess the only thing we have won is actually the we did win the World Series in 2001. That's probably about it. But yeah,
Oh, well,
we're
that's a
the
shame,
team
isn't
of
it?
luck. We're the team of letdowns, is what my brothers would call it.
So what does the manager do? Not
You
manage.
know, the day after it's the sports, like when the regular season's over, it's like a grim Tuesday or whatever, where
Oh,
it's, hey, the regular season's over. Who still has a job?
what? Oh dear.
Hope you got a good job security because some of those managers, it's like, nope, you're on your
Yeah.
own.
Yeah. Shh. Oh dear. But apart from the baseball and the basketball, are there any other sports apart from sort of scooters and bikes? Do they enjoy participating in?
My kids love water in every
Oh,
sense of the
okay.
word.
Right.
Um, we had a fire in our house a year ago, and so
Oh,
we have a new house. But in our previous house, before the fire, obviously, we have my kids have decided that they're gonna flood the bathroom. They're gonna take water all over the place. They're gonna
oh,
fill the bathtub is their swimming pool. Like my
oh,
kids love water, so we try and do swimming. Unfortunately the sad fact is 4 years ago we lost our third son. So we actually have four boys. We lost our third son to a drowning. And so I make sure that my older two are more confident with swimming because before COVID, we did a lot of swimming lessons and we did all of those things. And then COVID shut down a lot of things. And so we weren't able to do as much with my younger two. And so we lost our son. And so now my youngest, I'm like, you want to go to these water parks, you want to go do these things, but you got to learn how to swim because I'm not
yeah.
playing this game. I've already lost one kid. I'm not losing another one.
No,
So
I'm sorry to hear
um
that.
yes, thank you. So my kids love water. They love playing in water. Sometimes I wonder, like, why are you all wet? Oh, I played in the hose, or I played in the dog's water dish, or like the amount the my 5-year-old decided he was going to play firefighter with the hose and hose out the inside of my car. So
Oh,
like yeah, so like my kids love water. So we try and get them in swimming lessons or those things. And there's so much in
yeah,
Arizona. Water is the lifeblood of a lot of things to stay cool. So
yes,
we do like to do water activities or swimming or things like that. But we're trying to educate them all and make sure that they're
Mm,
at least able to swim. So,
yes.
um, but yeah, my kids love water.
And
Love it.
how did the car come off? Did it survive?
Um,
No.
let's just say, I mean, for the most part, obviously it wasn't like a flood where it completely flooded the car, but there's some things that had to dry out a bit. We had to put the
Hmm.
dehumidifier bags
Yeah,
for
I
all
can
the
imagine so.
so we had to do that and we had to put that in 2 or 3 times because it just soaked in and so
Wow.
it didn't help that it was in the cooler months so we didn't just be like, oh, just bake it all out, but
Yes. Oh
uh
dear.
no, so we just
Ah.
yeah, it was very much it took a little bit, but yeah, the car still runs, still works, it's paid
Oh well,
off, and
that's
I'm not
good.
buying a new one.
No, I thought you were going to say that, it just gave up the ghost, but I'm pleased. I'm pleased that it's still going for you. Yes, that's
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah, don't go there again.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah, that's
days.
not my plan.
Yes, yes. And do you ever go away to any particular sort of sporting holidays, perhaps, with them?
Not, well, I guess it depends on what you call sports. So one of my favorite things to do, my parents, my dad grew up in Montana, and my grandparents obviously lived there until they passed, and then my parents bought the property, and so they own it, and that is one of my favorite places to go. If you've ever heard of the show Yellowstone, it's where they actually record Yellowstone.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yes.
and so it's in the Bitterroot Mountains in Montana. And so that's where the ranch is. And one of my favorite things to do for sport, although I like I drown worms. I like to drown worms, also known
Poor
as fishing.
worms. What did they do to you?
I just like the peacefulness of it because it's fishing.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I don't like the fish,
Oh, okay.
so I like to drown worms.
Right. That's another. Yes, I see now. Okay. I had
So
this
I've
image
taught
of
my
you
kids
sort
how
of.
to I've taught my kids how to drown worms that everybody's like, "What?" I'm
Um,
like, "Well, I don't like fish. I don't like to eat it." I To be honest with you, I had all four of my kids before I actually touched the fish because I had my dad do it. My dad would
right.
touch the fish. And then my dad's like, "I can't do it. You got to do it." I'm like, "Okay."
I'm not good with real fish. I mean, live fish.
Yep,
Yeah.
you got to take it off the hook, and are you
No,
keeping
no,
it? Yep, nope.
no,
Yep,
no.
I was a full-grown adult, had all four of my children before I finally had to touch the fish. I was mad when he
I
made me touch the worm, and now I'm like, okay, well, I guess the
yeah,
worm isn't as
I
bad.
kind of get it. I,
But
I kind of get it. Yeah.
yeah,
You either do or you don't. It's like
hmm,
it's a Marmite thing, isn't it? You either like
yes,
it or you don't.
yep, yep, yep,
Right.
absolutely.
Okay. And do they enjoy drowning worms?
I mean, their attraction to water is the last time we really spent a lot of time uh doing that. I spent more time fishing my oldest clothes out of the creek instead of fish. So
I have this
he
image in my head.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yep, he would do it, but he was more interested in getting in the water than he was getting the fish. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's a water thing. They just love water.
Well,
So
I do get it because my middle brother, um, when he was younger, I'm not sure about now. I don't think it's as bad, but he'd always come home wet. So I do get it. Even
yeah,
if it's a puddle,
uh-huh.
he'd get wet.
Yep, there were. Yep, I we tried before we got my oldest diagnosed with autism. It was like if there was water, it didn't matter if it like it
I'm
didn't
like a
matter
magnet. It's
how
a magnet, isn't
small
it?
it was.
Yeah.
He was in that. And we'd got a bunch of rain, and so one of the parks that we were at had like a drainage, like that's where the overflow water went.
Hmm.
And so it was a pond. It was a mini pond until the
Yeah.
water absorbed or dried up, evaporated, whatever. And yep, that's exactly where he was, right in the middle of it. And I'm like,
I can
I
imagine
guess,
the expression on your face.
oh, I was livid. I was just like, we are going, you were
Oh
not sitting in
dear.
your car seat in your clothes. So yeah,
Mm,
that was very interesting to say the least.
I can imagine. Yeah. You weren't supposed to be getting wet. You were supposed to be drowning worms.
He was supposed to be at soccer practice,
Oh,
but
well, yes, well, neither of those then.
yep, yep. Nope, there's water. There was a puddle of water. He was gonna find a way to be in the middle of it. And I'm like, okay, how do I
Okay,
get
yeah.
you out without me having to go in?
Oh, dear me. Yeah. Challenging.
Yes. Yep.
And what
So
what about yourself? Um, do you ever get a chance yourself to just do something that a sport you enjoy?
Um, it's been a while.
Hmm.
I played badminton in high school. And so, being a PE teacher, I learned about pickleball before it became the big popular sport that it is now.
Yeah,
And
it's
so,
huge, isn't it?
yes, it
Hmm.
is. So to be able to say, hey, I learned this in college. And, so I don't have a lot of time just because by the time my kids go to bed, it's time for me to go to bed because I got to
Yeah.
get up before my kids get up. And, it's if my kids are up, I'm up because I've got
It's
to
a
watch them.
continuous a wheel, isn't it?
Yes.
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 Can
So,
I get
but
off, please?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so I mean I've done some basketball pickup games. Pickleball is probably a little bit more my speed as much as I would love to say, yes, I could go play a game of basketball right now. I would be dying after a couple trips up and down the court.
Mm,
But I would like to get more into those activities, but it's the times that it's available, it's either late at night or early in the morning.
yeah.
And
And the times don't tie up, of course.
yeah, so eventually we might get there, but you know, I could do I'll play a game of volleyball. I'm not the best, but I'll
Well,
play
it's the
that. I like
taking part, isn't
pickleball.
it, that counts at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yeah, honestly, if you can, my favorite things to do are like I love basketball because it gets me to run without me focusing on, oh, hey, I'm gonna go run,
Yeah.
2, 3 miles.
It's kind of a
So,
distraction, isn't it? You're
mhm.
running, but you don't realize it.
Yeah, you don't realize
Yeah.
how far you're running
Yes.
because this people that like to just go run, I'm like, I gotta really,
No.
it's how far I go is how far I gotta go back.
Yeah.
So how far do I
I,
really want to go? Right.
I quite
So
agree
like,
there.
the track and
Yeah.
field events, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather drive to the track, go around as many times as I want, and then walk into the car to go home. Because I don't want to go as
Oh
far and then
dear.
be like, oh crap, I want to go home. Okay, I'm done now. But where
Yeah.
am I?
Finished. Yeah. Yeah. I'm done.
Yep. Yep,
Oh dear.
absolutely.
And how I can't remember. Did you say how old your boys are?
So my oldest is 11, almost 12. I have a 10-year-old, and then I have a 5, almost 6-year-old. He'll be 6
Right.
in half a
So
month. So
quite a while till they in do they go to mainstream school? Is there a sort of
so
section in the school that they attend?
yeah, so my oldest and my youngest, at least my youngest right now, go to an autism charter school
Hmm.
specifically for them. My youngest just graduated and does not need the special education program that he's in. So he is actually, we're hoping to get him in the gifted program
Hmm.
with my middle son because he is in a highly gifted program, and so he is able to they work it more at a faster pace, and so they work 1 or 2 grades ahead. And so he is doing really well there. And so they're in specific programs. When we bought our new house, after the house fire, when we bought our new house, it's 20 minutes north
Hmm.
of where we were living. And I was, we love our kids, right? So we're willing to sacrifice for them. So our drives used to be, you know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Now you
Mm,
have to add that additional 15, you had to add that additional 20 minutes to it.
yeah.
So, we kept our kids when we were looking for a house, we kept our kids where they were because we didn't want to have to change what was already working because we had already found someplace that worked. So they were being successful. They were, thriving for their education
Mm,
and getting the supports that they needed where they were at. And so, I have carpool buddies. That's the only way I can make this work is we have carpool buddies. And
good idea.
that,
Might as
yeah,
well.
well, I was spending 3 hours a day. I was doing it all by myself. I was
Mm,
spending 3 hours a day in the car because it would take us 20 minutes to get to one school, 20 minutes to get to the next one. And by the time you spend the time dropping off and then drive the,
yeah.
25 minutes home, it was an hour and a half, and that was just drop off. That wasn't even
Yeah.
pickup. And then I got to
Yeah.
go through pickup and do that. And I just couldn't do it. And so I convinced friends that their kids should go to the same schools as my kids so we could carpool.
What a good
So
idea.
yeah, so we did that. And you don't, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. So,
Exactly that.
we've had to make some adjustments. We've had to do some little tweaks, but we've been doing this 3 years. So
Mm,
we've had carpool buddies for the last 3 years. And if I can
that's good.
keep at least 2 kids in the same
Yeah.
location for, for a school year, because I'm tired of doing the 3 kids in 3 different locations and 3 different
Yes.
schedules. I've done that
It
enough that I'm like, nope, nope,
it
two.
catches up, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow. Well, Laurie, we've sadly come to our time, but I think there's probably some more stories that you can likely tell in another
now
chit chat. Well, yes.
I can tell them now. When they happen, probably not.
Oh dear, but it's been an absolute pleasure getting to learn about your boys through you and learn a little bit more about yourself. So thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely. It was wonderful to come on.
Thank you.